Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and we are back with another episode of the Fighting Pit podcast. We're starting this week off with a little, very special pre-recorded segment, doing some mercenary reveals, courtesy of Blizzard Play Hearthstone. Really big shout out to them and Alkali and the rest of the community team for doing something special for the Mercs reveal stuff this time around. I think it's been really well received by the community, and I know we're really happy and excited to be a part of it. So this, like I said, little pre-recorded segment here. We could get this as nice and neat for all of you to get the best viewing experience possible. One minor little disclaimer before we get into it here. We did have to essentially recreate these mercenaries in our own little custom template. And because of that, some of the art on the items is not necessarily going to be the same art that we see in the game. However, the art you will see for the skills should be the exact art that we will see when these characters launch tomorrow. So just wanted to get that little disclaimer out there. But yeah, we put a lot of work into this, and I'm really excited to talk about these characters. This is just going to be a shorter segment where we go over, reveal them, just one or two little initial thoughts, and then if you want to see the full kind of deep dive into what we think about the characters, talking about some of the other characters that got revealed by our fellow Mercenaries creators, and all that good stuff, stay tuned for the full episode. This will be going up on YouTube as its own little shorter clip thing, and then there will be the full episode afterwards. And obviously, if you're watching this live, after this little section ends, we will be going into the full live discussion. So yeah, really appreciate all the support from the community. Means a lot to us. Really excited to do this. If you enjoy it, do remember to like, subscribe, comment, all that good social media stuff, as it really does help show the company that these kind of reveals are something worth their time and effort. And especially compared to regular card reveals, Mercenaries reveals can be a little bit more complicated because it's a lot more assets and all that kind of stuff. So definitely worth showing that it's worth that little bit of extra effort. But we're going to get into it here. Do you guys have anything you want to say before we dive on into these reveals?
Yeah, I'm just really happy about basically getting the whole reveal and everything. And just thank you to, the whole community that's been supporting us. We've been doing this for almost about a year now, I'd say. Probably about 9 months or so?
Yeah, 10 months.
We've been getting up there. So I just want to say, thank you to everyone. Kind of led us to having this big reveal and everything. And I hope you guys all enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I mean, same thing. Just it's super cool to get these kind of world first achievements in that kind of way. It's a really cool feather in our hat, and it's for the whole community as well. So I think I also speak for all of us when I say that these are probably some of the coolest mercenaries that we've seen so far. And I think we haven't seen the other amount that is going to be dropped as well yet. So if those hold up, this winter and fall is going to be just nonstop action for mercenaries. So it's I'm super excited, and I hope you guys will be too.
Yeah, so hopefully you enjoy it, and without further ado, let's get into the reveals.
Hey everyone, it's Wizard Beast here. We'll be reviewing a new mercenary. He is Blonsandi. He is an epic mercenary who is a troll fighter. He has 3 attack and 89 life. First ability is Soul Subjugation. It is 9 speed and shadow. Deals 28 damage, but it has deal 3 less damage for each time this was damaged this turn. Second ability, Irrefusable Deal, 1 speed and a shadow ability, and this is choose one of Basandi's deals, increase the cooldown of this ability by 1. So it is just like we've seen with Sir Finley, and it has 3 choices when you pick this. All of them still at 1 speed, and all of them are shadow. First one is Deal of Time. All abilities with initial speeds of 5 or faster are 5 speeds slower next turn, and all others are 5 speed faster. The second choice for this ability is Deal of Vanity. Gain 5 health, and then all enemy abilities this turn target this if possible. And third part of the ability is Deal of Fear. This takes no damage this turn, and then return all mercs to the bench at the end of turn. So that's his 3 deals. His third ability is Binding Contract, 2 speed, shadow, and has 2 cooldown. Deal 12 damage to an enemy. If this merc dies this turn, deal 90 more. So it has a chance to do over 100 damage. Then onto his equipment. First one is Arena Contender. Battle Cry. This merc's abilities refresh 2. And Death Rattle. Your abilities refresh 2. Second equipment, New Client, which is a Death Rattle. Resurrect one of your mercs that died this game with 24 health remaining. So finally we have a resurrect for someone else. And then third equipment, Spirit of the Dead. Passive, after one of your characters die, restore 7 health to your trolls. So it's nice to have some troll synergy. So going into this Merc a little bit more, by far his second ability is my favorite. With all of these different deals, it is so cool to see the design of this mercenary basically be kind of all over the place with so many different things he can do. I mean, especially with the first one, having all abilities with initial speeds of 5 or faster are 5 speeds slower next turn, and all others are 5 speed faster. It is so cool to see basically more improvement for slower abilities and having a different playstyle instead of just speed wins the game, which we've seen for many metas. So this is a nice ability to kind of just play around that and be a lot better overall, because you can set up for your next turn and basically you have ability, say your enemies were all at like say even 0 speed, all of them would go to 5, and if as long as yours were 6 or higher, all of them would get -5. So if they were all at 0, they would all go to 5, and if all of your abilities say were 6 speed next turn, then all of this would go down to 1. So it's nice to kind of have a nice setup turn and flip the tables on himself and have solar abilities finally have a chance at actually being very strong, because normally they can hit pretty hard. And I mean, even his second ability is really good too. Just gain life and then all enemy abilities target this if possible. Like that is very strong. We've seen with Reno, who can do it on a single target without his equipment, and that can just be game winning on saving some mercenaries. So being able to do that is great. But even the third part, which I really like, you can use this as a predict, like, hey, maybe they're going to try and kill him this turn. You can do it where he takes no damage this turn at 1 speed, so most likely before almost any ability, and then return all mercs to the bench at end of turn. So it is really cool to see basically a new feature where instead of like sending one back, where we've seen with like Maev and other characters, you finally have just a full kind of reset. So it can enable so many more battle cries, or even just switching up and bringing in new mercs. Maybe you want to trick your opponent and bring in 3 new mercenaries or mix up your teams and everything. So I'm really just excited for his play style and everything. But we'll go more into detail on our podcast live. So if you want to hear more thoughts of mine and also my other co-host of Molhu and Zombies, make sure to join us and check in there.
All right, Zombies here, and we have again Graybane. I was super excited when I saw this one, as I am a pretty big wild player and I've been playing a lot of even shaman with Gen. He's really iconic over there, and I am super stoked that we're getting him in Mercenaries, and he is one of the coolest designs I think we have ever seen in the mode, especially when it comes to a transformation character. So let's take a look at what he does here. So Gen Graybane is a human protector, 12 attack, 89 HP. Looking at his abilities, he has Blistering Bullet, which is 2 speed, no cooldown, deal 12 damage, transform into a Worgen, and this is a fire ability. Then he has Space Maker, deal 18 damage, gain +3 attack at 6 speed, and this is also another fire ability. And then he has a summon for his third ability, Beastly Beauty, 4 speed, 1 cooldown, Taunt. Battlecry, give your other human and Worgen +4/+6, and she is a 15 attack, 20 HP human summon. Then we'll look at his equipment here. So we have Blood Moon, Battlecry, gain +7 attack, transform into Gen's other form. So really cool. We have a way of him transforming right off the bat, or if you're swapping him in off the bench. Then we have Smooth Transformation, end of turn, transform into Gen's other form and gain +8 health. And then last but not least, we have Galean Strength, passive. After one of your characters casts an even speed ability, restore 10 HP to them. That's really cool, and if you might notice, all of his abilities are actually even costed, so super awesome theme there. We have more abilities to talk about here because he is not just human, but also a Worgen. So first time we're seeing a Worgen here, and he has 3 different abilities for this transformation. So this is kind of like the craziest transformation we've seen yet. Just a clarification, these are placeholder arts. The art in game will probably be different for these abilities. First, we have Moonlight Strike, 2 speed, 0 cooldown. Deal damage equal to this Merc's attack, transform into a human. So we have the way of transforming back and forth. Ankle Breaker, attack an enemy. It's 5 speed slower while this is a human. So really cool kind of way to mess with speeds while you're swapping back and forth. And then Beautiful Beast, charge. Battlecry, give your other human and Worgen +6/+4, 20 attack, 15 health, Worgen tribe. This is just a huge flavor win. This character is awesome. It feels so thematic, and it's also cool because this is the first time we're seeing charge in Mercenaries. Now, I imagine they wouldn't put something like charge in Mercenaries if it was just going to be the same as rush, so I'm guessing that maybe we can aim this. Maybe we can actually target where this attack is going, and that's kind of the difference between rush, which is what we've seen on all the other summons that attack right away, and of course they have the Hearthstone kind of werewolf worgen flavor of swapping the stat bonuses as well as swapping the attack and the health depending on the form. But yeah, I absolutely love this. This is one of the coolest designs I think they've ever made in Mercenaries, and it really does something I've wanted them to do more of, which is giving us a lot more variety and depth in our choices. Instead of just being locked into 3 different skills and being kind of limited by those, now we have a character who essentially has 6 different skills all in one mercenary, and I think that's fantastic.
All right, hello everybody, this is Mullahu, and I managed to slow roll myself and save my first interaction with ya girl, Ysera. And so I've only seen what the abilities do at their basic number. I have not yet seen the maximum number. I have not seen the equipment. I have not seen the dream. This is my first go. So, Ysera, finally, a nature dragon, legendary fighter, 8 attack, 84 health. Our first ability is Verdant Breath at 6 speed. It's a nature ability. Deals 12 damage to an enemy. Restore that much health to another friendly dragon. Honestly, a little Anduin ability, but a little bit slower and better tag in terms of not human. Second ability, Emerald Dream. Choose a dream card to cast. Okay, and I have not seen what these are, and they are Ysera Awakens. Deals, so 5 speed, 1 cooldown to choose the dreams. Ysera Awakens is deal 20 damage to all enemies and 5 damage to all other friendly characters. That's quite powerful. Nightmare, give a character 30 attack. At the end of each turn, they take 20 damage. Okay, that is much better than a lot of other abilities. Plus 30 is a ludicrous number, but I guess you have to be able to attack afterwards. That's actually kind of interesting. And then the final dream is the Drake, the summon. Still 5 speed, to summon a dragon that is a 25/20 with rush. So not too bad, but certainly the weakest, I would say, of the different abilities within the dreams, but not bad. Those other 2 are quite juicy. Our third ability is Emerald Oracle. 4 speed, 1 cooldown, again a nature ability, so keep in mind Malfurion with all these. Restore 20 health to a merc, choose one. Their next ability is 5 speed faster, or return them to the bench. Huh. Okay, I will come back to that. The 3 equipment. First up, Ysera's Vengeance. Verdant Breath deals 5 more damage, so you can make your penance there. That first ability deals 17 and heal 17, but obviously it can crit and end up healing 34, so that's actually quite juicy. I'm pretty sure penance actually didn't do the same amount on Anduin that it dealt. It just always did a flat amount, so that's quite powerful. Second equipment, Dream Infusion. Passive, after one of your character dies, restore 7 health to your dragons, so this is actually just like the Blansamdi equipment. Not bad. We actually have a couple parallels in this already with some of the other dragons, but with tons of summoned dragons, that can certainly go pretty crazy. And our third equipment here is Emerald Majesty. Ysera Awakens, so one of that first dream, also restores 15 health to this mercenary. Okay, not bad. So, okay, the first big takeaways for me are the Verdant Breath is actually quite strong. And honestly, that first equipment that makes the Verdant Breath add more damage is probably going to be one of the better equipments. Obviously, the full dragon comp would love to see just whenever a dragon dies, heal 7. But if you're not actually playing with Nefarian to summon extra dragons, and multiples of them in some cases with regularity, not sure how much good the second equipment is going to be. And Ysera Awakens healing for 15 on this character seems maybe a little unnecessary. It's obviously quite a nasty AoE, but the straight up an additional 5 damage, which can translate to another 5, 10 healing in some cases, and it's the only ability that doesn't have a cooldown, so you'd have to imagine that Ysera is actually quite interested in opening for many comps, and so to actually get your opener ability, that Verdant Breath, to have more damage, sounds pretty juicy to me. But honestly, the thing that I'm most excited about is whether or not Emerald Oracle, this third ability, can put an opponent's merc onto their bench, because you can heal for 20 and potentially just bounce them at 4 speed, or with Malfurion at 1 speed. That combo alone gets me extremely excited about this character, and the fact that you can obviously heal your own merc and speed them up, we start to get a kind of a 4-speed Admiral Rogers kind of speed up, or almost like, again, a mini kind of endurance aura, but only for a single merc, and we know how powerful that can be. Toss the heal on top of it, and that's quite juicy. So very exciting, and honestly, the nature tag, I was loving it. I was asking for it, and the dreams sound great. That Emerald Oracle ability could be cracked, and Dragon Comp is looking a little bit better. So I'm excited, and we'll go more in depth into all of this and combos and more, and the way that it combines with all the other mercs live on our podcast. So stay tuned, check out the videos, and swing by for the live if you want to come ask some of your own questions or have some of your own questions answered. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you soon.
All right, and that brings us to our final mercenary reveal here, Murloc Home. So pretty much I think everyone expected this. Really awesome to see another red Murloc joining Finley in the Murgle ranks. So Murloc Home is a protector Murloc, 13 attack, 87 health, and his first ability here, Hot on the Case, gain +5 attack and attack an enemy. It takes critical damage after it acts next turn, and this is a fire spell school ability.
His second ability is Elementary, and it is 3 speed with 1 cooldown. It is give a character Divine Shield. If they lose it this turn, they gain +5, +10, and attack the enemies opposite of them, and this is also a nature ability.
The third ability is, and the killer is, another Discover, essentially, which we've seen in a lot of our new mercenaries, which is awesome. Deal 16 to an enemy, and then make a prediction for a bonus. The 3 predictions you can make are first to arrive. If it acted first this turn, deal 16 more damage, and they act last next turn. Last on the scene. If it acted last in combat, then you AoE the enemies for 10 damage. And then the final prediction is obviously the murderer after dealing 16 damage. If that merc, at any point presumably throughout the game, when they destroy 2 mercenaries, it takes 80 damage.
That's really crazy, and it's awesome seeing them keeping the kind of the bonus prediction effect. Really love that. And keeping with the flavor stuff, we have the items here. So first one is Trusty Sidekick. Battlecry, summon a 1230 Watfin who attacks enemies who damage your Murloc Homes. And presumably Watfin will obviously be a Murloc as well.
And for the second equipment is Paid Up Front. Battlecry, gain +4/+4, and this Merc's abilities refresh 1, so then you can use any ability turn 1.
Final equipment is Suspect Everyone, where they now have a passive machine gun that says after an enemy casts a 4, 5, or 6 speed ability, Murloc Home deals 8 damage to them, and it can crit. So a crazy amount of damage that can come out of an equipment.
Yeah, really love this character. The Murlocs have gotten a lot better with the addition of Finley. They really needed that one more red, and now we have another Murloc that also cares about stats and attacking, which we've seen for the tribe is something that's really beneficial. Just absolutely huge flavor win. Really cool seeing supporting multiple different spell school tribes like fire and nature, as well as obviously the Murlocs, and a lot of diversity in what the items and almost more importantly, sometimes the equipments. Like, these are all great equipments that can kind of have you use Murloc Homes in a variety of different ways depending on the build you're running him in.
Yeah, and the cool thing too, as you were saying, there's a lot of different builds you can run him in. Like first there's Murloc, and then if you look at his abilities, he has a fire ability on his first one. His second one's also nature. And then with all of his different equipments, as you were saying, you can kind of choose in between any of them. Like you can get basically just another summon that's good with decent stats. You can buff him up more. And I really like that second equipment because just increasing his stats, he would become a 1791 then. And then refresh all abilities, so then you can have 3 options turn 1, which I think is always a cool playstyle to have instead of just, oh, this character only has 1 ability turn 1. It's nice to see diversity in the abilities and how you might play them in different games with having more options open.
Definitely.
Yeah, the fact that we've seen multiple different equipment now that kind of give us a refresh as an option on your equipment is always going to be a powerful equipment, right? We've talked upside down and backwards about how taking a cooldown from 1 to 0 is just gigantic. But again, refresh is a great way to make it so you can start with it and then it goes on cooldown. But I mean, my God, turning all of these, I mean, that's the equipment that I go to first is truly this Paid Up Front, where you can, the option to just open with, give the Divine Shield, give it stats and make them double attack is so good in the Murloc deck already, where it loves Divine Shields. You get the bonuses for triggering Divine Shields again. The stats are awesome. The attacking is awesome. enemies opposite from us. We've seen so frequently on how regularly that can hit 2 enemies and just do ludicrous amounts of damage. I'm very impressed with this character, honestly. I think all of the recent Murlocs have really been a step up.
For sure. And this is just our initial reveal, of course. So we're going to talk a lot more about all of these characters, what we think about their potential, what they might work well with, as well as the other characters that have been revealed in the Mercenaries community earlier today. But that is going to be in the rest of the episode after our little pre-recorded segment here. So if you're watching live, stay tuned. It's going to be coming at you right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, the full episode will be going up later on the same day after we finish doing it live. And if you're catching this right after it went up, we should be live right now. So check the link in the description to check that out. As always, if you want to support these kind of mercenary community reveals, it is super helpful if you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Really shows Blizzard that this kind of stuff is worth doing for the future. So hopefully they do it again and they can expand these reveals to more creators in the community.
Yeah, thanks for everyone tuning in, joining, and we'll also be posting these up on Twitter too, so you guys can check through there and just interact with all of it. And as Zombie was saying, it would be great just to have basically more reveals for more content creators and have more support for this mode. So thanks for everyone joining in.
Thank you. Get your theory crafts a bustling. We want to see him in chat. So see you soon.